What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Madonna, and we're returning to her Ray of Light album, 1998. And the next track in the playlist is Nothing Really Matters, which sounds resigned, it sounds nihilistic, the idea that any given action, any potential outcome is just as good or just as bad as any other. And in that regard, it sounds like someone who is emotionally numb and is not feeling distinctions between phenomena or stimuli. So, yeah, it sounds like someone who's perhaps, by a, let's say, psycho-emotional wellness standard, someone who's not in a good way. Now, of course, there could be other meanings that I could derive from the title, though they would feel more speculative and more niche. So, let's see what I can pick up on a first listen. This is Madonna. The tune is Nothing Really Matters, and it's from her 1998 album, Ray of Light.
When I was very young, nothing really mattered to me but making
complaint, quote unquote, is that it didn't go a little bit longer. So yeah, like overall, I'd say the genre is kind of like tech house. It's house, but with a bit of a techno feel. Indeed, it actually reminds me, because the bass had this sort of lower end groove to it. It reminded me of a subgenre like speed garage. Sometimes it was called, but yeah, a house style that was popular like late '90s in particular. Which again, this is 1998, so essentially from the period that I'm thinking of in the context of like underground rave parties. So yeah, I enjoy the sonic diversity. Again, there's a lot of electronic sounds, some of them more like straight away melodic, some of them sort of floaty and cyclical. And then there was that like almost like modem, like electronic transmission type of sound where it's like sort of fragmented and like electromechanical. And then again, sort of the house percussion scheme I enjoyed. And of course, her vocals very sweet and sonorous at the center of it. And it's interesting because it's like, the title, it sends you in one direction, and then she immediately is saying, that's what I thought when I was younger, but now that I'm grown, it's all different now, and I can't change back. Like, and you've brought this feeling into my life, and you've made it so there is something that matters, and, the feelings or the actions that I send in your direction, they come back to me, and there's a sense that like there is significance, there is feeling, and there is meaning in particular actions or outcomes or interactions. So yeah, it's like a song that has it's a way of looking at love and intimacy and connection, but using it within a larger timeline, and also speaking to the growth and maturity of the narrator, which again, like, whether this is, the lines were written in an autobiographical sense or not, it does make me think about, the distance musically, lyrically, atmospherically, and sonically between the Madonna of the like early to mid 80s, like very synth pop type albums, to where we are here. And again, people who know me and who've known this deep dive through Madonna's material will be aware I'm not only very fond of that early synth pop sound, but it's also very nostalgic, because that's the Madonna that I remembered from my youth. And then again, going into the more atmospheric, like R&B kind of soulful tracks, and some of the heavier like emotional ballad tunes, and then now getting into some electronic and like dance sonics. I'm enjoying this whole journey as she as an artist matures and grows into some different stylings. So yeah, in a way, like, it feels autobiographical, even if again, like, the lyrics might be, but it, like, I'm kind of viewing it on a higher sort of like meta level. But either way, I really enjoy this tune, and this album so far has been a treat. And I was thinking about that line, shelter from the storm, which, that phrase I feel like shows up in a lot of places. But when I heard it here, I was like, oh, like, have I heard that somewhere else from her? But then, of course, it made me think of the tune that I'm waiting for on this album, The Power of Goodbye. Just, the line that I was your shelter, that you had to burn. And, like, I'm thinking about shelter, like, in terms of that song. So, again, I'm very much looking forward to reconnecting with that tune, one that I have known not right when this album came out, but again, it was introduced to me, I don't know, maybe 99 or 2000, so right around this time, but I haven't heard it for a long time, so that should be interesting. But again, another killer tune. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for the next one. Peace.